done in a safe, turning radius is allowable.
Vision triangle.
Right, I mean, he'd have to pass that burden at that time,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know that we need to, that's not what we're.
Correct.
What
Right.
we're charged with.
Right.
That might become another impediment.
Sure. Anybody else, Rich?
Yeah, I wanted to explore the whole idea of Act 67 and how that impacts things, because it was presented that you can't challenge a conditional use if it's listed within a zone, like C2, it is listed, a marina. But the fact that Act 67 talks about denial of a permit and the right to challenge a denial in court shows the legislature did not take away all authority to deny an application for a conditional use permit. Public comment that provides reasonable facts and information related to the conditions of the permit are accepted under Act 67 as evidence. So on the face of it, Act 67 does not say that you have to approve a conditional use, even if it exists.
Excuse me.
And I think there is, the other thing I looked into was spot zoning. And found that spot zoning in general is against sound public policy and obnoxious to the law, is instantly suspect of being done to accommodate a particular interest and not for the general welfare of the community. Now that's kind of, the horse is out of the barn on that. It's already been spot zoned by the town board and
Walworth County.
the county, kind of ignored our conclusion in the first place
Mhm.
and granted the rezone. I think there's also a number of other things that could be presented if we got past all these other issues. There's still more stuff. There was evidence presented that a marina would significantly damage the sensitive area. 7, and that was presented by 2 people that are qualified experts and part of the Lake Beulah Management District. So I think all in all, that just kind of says there's some issues here.
Sure. Thanks. Anybody else have anything to comment, Paul or Dave? All right. I mean, I guess obviously, in light of everything, if we wanted to make our decision tonight, we can make our decision tonight. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Ben. I know you kind of referenced maybe doing a little more research. Yes, as Rich mentioned, there's, in our eyes, how many strikes against?
Well, I mean, the county states, please be advised that your conditional use petition shall be placed on hold for 30 days to allow time for there's a typo, application for the required variances to be made. I think we could provide the same accommodation to the applicant here.
Oh, the 30 days from what date?
Table it until our next decision meeting. That's about 30 days.
Sure.
I guess I'm not clear.
No, we're still discussing.
I'm not clear.
No, tonight is not about, I'm sorry, it's not about the public. We are having our decision tonight, and you're not talking, and you're not going to interrupt our meeting.
Well, you guys got it all wrong.
But we don't.
You do.
Okay, well, that's your opinion, so you can bring it up later.
Ben, this is another governing body making their decision for a certain reason. So what they're saying is that they don't even want to, they're basically saying the applicant should apply for a variance before he applies for a conditional use.
Could you talk up a little louder, please?
Yeah,
Or get closer to the mic?
I'm just saying that, this is another governing body that has stayed their decision for 30 days. And they appear to be saying a variance needs to be applied for prior to the consideration of a conditional use permit. I guess we could use that as part of our decision-making, but I don't know why we would.
I mean, we're advisory to Walworth County. We're advisory to the town board.
Yeah.
And then through them to Walworth County. So I guess the biggest reason why I brought it up is the ultimate decision maker that we're advising in October of last year didn't want to hear the conditional use.
Right, if this went through, they wouldn't act on it. If this weren't to go through, then it's likely to, I think there's a chance it comes back with a variance or something. So I think if we table for a month, give the applicant time to try to resolve this and decide how best he wants to move forward.
I have no problem with that. I mean, if you have a real issue with that, or does anybody else have an issue with tabling it? Then I guess I would take a motion to table.
I would like to move that we table the consideration for.
We have a motion to table the conditional use at this point. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's tabled. Next on the agenda is any other business amongst commissioners? Any other public comment not
I'd like
related,
to speak for public comment.
not related to this?
It's related to something that's a memorandum that's on file with the county.
But is it related to this because we've already had our discussion? We tabled it for 30 days, so you'll have your chance to explain what you want to explain.
I'm just gonna say what I want to say for public comment. if that's okay.
Fire away. But it should not have anything to do with agenda item number 2, because that's how the public comment works.
I'd like to make a public comment that by you not allowing me to speak during the time frame, there's already a memorandum on file that states that I'm not going to use my building for commercial use and that I could move forward. If you would have dug a little deeper into your records at the county, you would have already known that. So you're just wasting everybody's time. Thank you.
So that didn't have anything to do with agenda item 2, what you just said?
That had everything to do with it.
Absolutely. And so now we have 30 to figure this out, don't we? So if we didn't dig enough, now we can dig, can't we?
I'll provide it for you if you want.
That would be fantastic.
All right, no problem.
Any other public comments? I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Oh, nice.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. John, could you